Hey guys, this is Stuart from Stuart's Scale Models, and this is my officially first update into my entry for Martin Lamont's Hawker Harrier 50th anniversary buddy build. Sorry, I nearly got tongue-tied. Sorry, Martin. Yeah, my entry is going to be a Hawker Harrier FRS 1. Which is going to be a Falklands War bird, and it will be depicted on the deck of HMS Invincible, for which I've actually got bits and bobs in the bag the other weekend. So I've basically got photo frame and some foam board, which I picked up at Hobbycraft the other weekend. So that's going to be the base. I shall cut it to shape and size, etc. The assembly of the cockpit was brilliant. I have to say it was a lovely fit, but oh boy, when it got to actually assembling the aircraft itself, it was fit issue after fit issue after fit issue, and this kit has been fighting me all the way, boys, I tell you. And I have to say some of the instructions on this kit are very, very vague indeed. I can't say I'm that impressed. So in terms of build, I probably would have been better going with the Tamiya kit, but I'm persevering and I've got this far, so I'm going to carry on. I've had a little help from one of the members who's actually taking part in this buddy build as well, Mr. Pete Eccles, because when I put the air scoop on the other weekday, it went flying off into the back at beyond, gone, never to be seen again, and we've all been there. And I thought, what the hell am I going to do? So I put a little note out on the Facebook page, and lo and behold, Pete came up trumps. And Pete, just to let you know, bud, I've actually got your air scoop. Oh, excuse the cockpit, it's going to fall off. It's not fixed on there yet. Sitting right there now. We'll sit the other one exactly in the right position. So there you go. But as I say, this kit has not come without fit issues. I mean, I've got a dirty grate seam line underneath the wing, which has got to be filled, and on the opposite side. There's a nasty gap there where the interior didn't quite fit, so I'm going to have to get that shaped and filled. I've used sprue glue along the bottom here, but there is a bit of a step here. So obviously once that gets sanded down, I'm going to have to rescribe it all. Some of the air inlet sides of the intakes are not that very good in terms of actually positioning them, so I'm going to have to do some work on that. And even the fit on the top wing, you've got a step there, so yeah, not very good. I mean, the other side was okay, but again, I've had to put sprue glue on there. I'm going to have to sand it down and then again rescribe it all again. And the wing fences, oh boy, were they a nightmare to try and get on. In fact, I lost one of these now to cannibalise it from the T2 trainer version kit I've got on my stash. So when it comes around to building that, I'm going to have to get in touch with the agent for Kinetic and see if they can send me another spare. So, but I was determined to get this build done. And even the tail planes, I have to say, were a bit of a nightmare to put together, but we got there in the end. But if you've noticed, I've actually got the flaps down because I basically did some reference photos on Google of a Sea Harrier at rest on the Hermes, and they did actually have the tailplane slightly back and these down. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is a nice looking kit of a lovely looking aircraft, but oh boy, when it comes to gaps and fit issues, this baby is a bit of a filler queen. Yeah, and even the Agen cannons underneath, I mean, you've got steps along here, they're going to have to be sanded down. I've left the bomb rack off until the very end. That's going to be put on, because obviously trying to paint this with all the stowage on is going to be a nightmare. So even the nozzles, if you notice, I haven't actually put them on yet. They're going to go on towards the end of this build. And unfortunately I lost one of the fairings at the front. I had to scratch build that as well. The camera's slightly fogged, but it is what it is, guys. I mean, I can probably put some clear on that near the end of the build, and even the pit tube I snapped, but I've managed to get that back on. But now that you've got the cockpit in place, it looks lovely. It really does. But as I say, if you are thinking of buying this kit, yeah, it's a nicely detailed kit, don't get me wrong, but it's going to have a lot of fit issues. And even, I will tell you this, all these vanes and fairings, etc., they say they've got placement holes in the fuselage. They have not got one. There's not one hole in it, so basically it's going to be pure guesswork, guys. And the only way I managed to get them positioned correctly is because I basically did some research on Google with some photographs of the actual FRS-1, so I could find the position of how they should actually go. So yeah, it's been quite a challenging build so far. I mean, don't get me wrong, I mean, relishing the challenge, you know. I mean, it's my first proper aircraft build in I don't know how long, you know. And it builds into a beautiful kit and a beautiful representation of the Sea Harrier. But you're going to have your fit issues. I mean, I've got gaps along the leading edges here as well on the wings, which is going to need to be filled and sanded. So she is a bit of a filler queen, guys. I do give you fair warning. But overall, so far so good. Now, I've also left all the nav lights off, because I think, to be honest with you, it's going to be far easier than trying to mask the buggers. The cockpit, I had to replace that, but thankfully, I think Rod Medlock? He actually pointed out that there were some spares, sprues, with some of the SHA-1 pieces in the T2 trainer version. A bit like Dragon do with some of their kits. They got various parts from other sort of Dragon Tigers, etc. So Kinetic seemed to do the same thing. So in that regard, that was a lucky fix. And because unfortunately with the original canopy, dropped it on the floor, next thing I know, crunch, I'd stepped on it. In fact, there's the original one, absolutely ruined. Oh dear. And it was my own clumsy fault, but I managed to get some spares out of the T2 Harrier box. They had a spare part of the cockpit glass here, so I managed to use those instead. And what I shall be doing is basically having it as though the cockpit, if it's going to stay in place, is open like so, as though it's on the carrier deck and he's waiting to go off on the bird itself on a mission, like so. But as I say, the slats are down, the tail planes are cantilevered back as well, and unfortunately I lost another fairing, which later turned up. So I had to use the fairing on the back here. I don't know if you can see it. Actually, if I bring it over to the camera, off the etch brass set that I used for the cockpit. So for the Tamiya kit, so I've used that instead. So it's worthy having some spares around, I can tell you. But yeah, it's been a challenging build so far, but I'm relishing the challenge, and in that regard I'm enjoying it. But as regards to engineering on this particular Kinetic kit, are very poor indeed, as regards the fit. But I'm sure it's going to build into a beautiful representation of the real thing, you know, when it's finished. And I did originally say I was going to do it as Andy Ward's aircraft. I've now decided that I'm going to do it as Sharky Ward's bird. Unfortunately, Sharky Ward didn't survive the Falklands War. I think he had 3 kills, and then unfortunately he was tragically killed when his aircraft was shot down by a missile, I think. So yeah, but yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm relishing in the challenge. I haven't built the undercarriage up yet. I mean, the other parts I've done so far is obviously the bomb with the bomb rack right here, and then also one of two sidewinder racks which are going to go under these pylons here. Again, I'm going to paint them separately and possibly put them on at the end of the build when everything's done. They're both here, as you can see. They're quite well detailed. The fit on these parts wasn't too bad, actually. Yeah, I was quite impressed with that. But as I say, overall, the engineering on this build, got to be questioned. So Kinetic, if you should re-release this, please make sure that you engineer this kit a bit better, because it is a bit of a pig to build. But it's coming on. I mean, I've got gaps around the air inlets as well, so that's going to have to be filled. A deep joy. Yeah, she's coming on, and I think really, guys, that's about all I can tell you at the moment. That's where we're at this moment in time. I am just waiting the masking set for the canopy to come in. Once that's done, I'm going to blue tack that down in position, and then get her filled, and then get her primed. Well, get her filled, sanded, rescribed, and then primed and pre-shaded. And then on with the base coats, decaling, etc. And then once she's near the end of being built, I shall start on the base, and hopefully that will go okay as well. And as I say, I've got a pilot figure, which is going to be Sharky Ward, as though he's getting ready to go on his mission. Excuse me. And we shall see how it shall proceed. But yeah, it makes a nice, well, something different from doing my usual armour, because I still want to keep my hand in with the aircraft, and it has been quite a while since I last built one. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. I think the last one I did was the Hawker Harrier Mark 1 from Airfix, and that was, oh god, 2-3 years ago now. Unfortunately that one met a sticky end, which I hope this one doesn't. Anyway, that's it for now, guys. That's about all I can sort of tell you, and how I'm getting on with this build. So there you go. I must admit, I haven't been anywhere near the Tiger, because obviously I'm trying to look at getting this done within the deadline. And we've only virtually got, what, 5 weeks until this actual buddy build finishes. So my main focus at the moment, guys, is the SHA 1. So if you haven't seen any updates on the Tiger, that's why. I mean, it doesn't end until, that group build doesn't end until around about mid-July. So I've got stacks of time on that one. Anyway, as I say, that's it for now, guys. We've been running at just over 13 minutes, and I think I'm just about to run out of time, because it's only got about 17.5 minutes an ounce on this one. So I'm going to finish here, and hopefully I shall give you a little further update soon on this build, and I hope you like what you see. Okay, in the meantime, keep warm, keep out of the eastern beast, and get plenty of warm food down here. Keep warm with warm hot drinks, and enjoy your modelling, guys. So until the next time, get kit crazy, happy modelling, and I'll speak to you soon.